Welcome back to Golf Extra. This year's Ryder Cup was full of drama. Not only did the European team pull off a thrilling victory, complete with some extremely high levels of golf performance, but there was some clubhouse drama as well. But who was at fault? And what did Rory McIlroy, who was at the center of this drama, have to say about it more recently? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now let's get right into the aftermath of Rory McIlroy's Ryder Cup meltdown. During the penultimate day of the Ryder Cup, it's fair to say that tensions boiled over after American Patrick Cantlay holed a long putt on the 18th green, which ended up giving his team the victory in the match and hope going into the final day of the event. Rory McIlroy took exception with the lengthy celebrations of the American team, and especially with Cantlay's caddy, Joe LaCava. The parties exchanged words on the 18th green, but things would later trickle into the parking lot, where a shouting match ensued. Speaking to the Irish Independent in mid-November, Rory attempted to shine some additional light on what exactly went down. He started by saying, "Here's what angered me. My relationship with Cantlay is average at best. We don't have a ton in common and see the world quite differently." He went on to describe the events on the final hole, where he evidently felt that some rules of golf etiquette were breached, saying, "But when I saw Cantlay was getting stick on the 17th and 18th greens, I tried to quiet the crowd for him. And I don't think Matt Fitzpatrick, McIlroy's partner, and I were afforded the same opportunity to try and hold those putts to have the match. I shook Joe LaCava's hand and Patrick Cantlay's hand. Those three putts he made on 16, 17, and 18 were fantastic. And under that pressure, to give your team a glimmer of hope going into Sunday was big balls. So all respect to him." Despite the kudos that he gave to the American team, McIlroy's anger didn't die down so far. After the match was over, McIlroy got into several arguments, first saying there was a bit of argy-bargy at the back of the 18th green with Fred Couples and Thomas Bjorn, and that's fine. But as I'm walking back to the locker room, I can feel this red mist coming over me. No, that wasn't right. Then came the blow-up in the parking lot of the hotel as the American team's entourage, notably including Justin Thomas's caddy, Jim Bones McKay, continued to try and calm Rory down. He says now, "We get to the hotel, and as you come into the lobby, we go left to our wing of the hotel, and the Americans go right to their wing. So we're going left, and someone is shouting at me, 'Rory, Rory!' And I look back, and it's Ricky Elliott, the Portrush-born caddy of the American Brooks Koepka, and Claude Harmon, Koepka's swing coach. And they're trying to defuse the situation, but I start having a go at them. Joe LaCava used to be a nice guy when he was caddying for Tiger, and now he's caddying for that Dick Cantlay. He's turned into an ass. I still wasn't in great headspace." This shouting match quickly went viral, with many observers seeing Rory as being in the wrong for his over-the-top reaction to a seemingly petty issue. However, the Americans have some pettiness in this as well. In fact, the whole celebration issue was rooted in reports that Patrick Cantlay wanted to be paid for his participation in the Ryder Cup and was protesting this issue. As Jamie Weir of Sky Sports reported, "Understand from several sources that the U.S. team room is fractured, a split led predominantly by Patrick Cantlay. Cantlay believes players should be paid to participate in the Ryder Cup and is demonstrating his frustration at not being paid by refusing to wear a team cap. Cantlay denied this, saying, "It's not about that, being paid, it's just about Team USA and representing our country." As far as why he wasn't wearing the hat, Cantlay said, "Hat doesn't fit. It didn't fit at Whistling Straits and it didn't fit this week. Everyone knows that. The furthest thing from the truth." He continued, "It couldn't be further from the truth. There hasn't been one word of team division all week. The U.S. team has been close all week. It's just outright lies. Not a shred of truth in the article that just one journalist wrote. It's crazy that one journalist can put a tweet out there totally unfounded with complete lies." So, when Cantlay holed his putt on the 18th green, LaCava and others on the American side waved their caps in mocking acknowledgement of the European fans, who had jeered Cantlay throughout the day about the reports. This celebration definitely exceeded the length of a typical golf celebration, especially considering that the European team still had a chance to win the hole by making a putt of their own. European captain Luke Donald's version of events lines up with this narrative, as he said after the incident, "I talked to Rory. He politely asked Joe to move aside. He was in his line of vision. He stood there and didn't move for a while and continued to wave the hat. So I think Rory was upset about that. I understand that. Obviously, Rory felt like the line was crossed on the 18th green." The whole European team evidently shared this perspective, as McIlroy told Sports Illustrated on the last day of the Ryder Cup. "We talked about it as a team last night. We felt like it was disrespectful, and it wasn't just disrespectful to Fitz and I. It was disrespectful to the whole team. I get that we get the banter when we go over to the States and play, and the same happens here. It's just the way it is. It's the way the Ryder Cup goes. You have to have thick skin. That's just the way it is. When asked to comment on the incident, Joe LaCava has still been quiet, saying only to reporters on Sunday, "I've been told by the captain, Zach Johnson, not to say anything. I'm sorry. Not until further notice." Later, in speaking with the BBC, McIlroy seemed to indicate that everything was healed now between him and LaCava, saying, "Things happened in the heat of the moment. Tensions were high. Joe LaCava came into the European team room on Sunday night and had a drink and a chat. I've had a great relationship with Joe over the years when he caddied for Tiger, and that wasn't going to change. For me, the incident happened. I purposely didn't want to meet anyone on the Sunday morning because I wanted what had happened to fuel me for that day. My whole focus was let's make sure Europe win the Ryder Cup, and then we will sort all the other stuff out." Of course, the European team did prevail, which likely makes it easier for McIlroy to digest the aftermath of the blow-up now. As to where McIlroy stands with Bones McKay, his interview with the Irish Independent demonstrated that Rory felt quite bad about the viral parking lot confrontation, as he said, "He's McKay coming over to try and defuse the situation, but he's wearing an American top, and I know he's friends with Joe, and I just tripped. Complete rage. I felt bad about it afterwards because Bones' wife was standing beside him and I used a lot of swear words, so not my finest moment. Then Shane Lowry bundled me into the car." All seemed to be fixed now between the two longtime fixtures in professional golf, with McIlroy telling Sports Illustrated just after the Ryder Cup finished, "I texted Bones this morning. He was the first American I saw after I got out of the locker room, so he was the one that took the brunt of it. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I texted Bones this Sunday morning and apologized for that. I was hot coming out of that yesterday. I was pretty angry. I didn't agree with what happened on 18, but I think I let it fuel the fire today and it focused me, and I was able to go out there and get my point." One final interesting wrinkle that emerged in the Irish Independent piece is that Joe LaCava is Tiger Woods' former caddy, someone that McIlroy has grown quite close with in recent years. Tiger even reached out to McIlroy, as Rory said in his interview. After Saturday's Ryder Cup play, there were also 3 texts and 2 missed calls from Tiger because they're Woods and LaCava obviously still close. I sent him a quick message, "It will be fine, long day, just want to go to bed." In the end, cooler heads seem to have prevailed, but that still begs the question, who was in the wrong? Comment with your thoughts and make sure to subscribe for more content like this. We'll catch you in the next one.